So here we have Maher Ranina, who is the Marketing and Industrial Relations Coordinator at the Global Institute of Sports Business. So Maher, why don't you tell us? Your passion for sports and football has made you pursue a career in sports management. So what do you think others should do wish the same?
Yeah. Hi, Sean. Good question. So I think the first thing that people need to do is now recognize that sports is a business. So just like any other industry, I think it's extremely important to get yourself educated on the subject. Now, the problem that we face in India specifically is that there is a dearth of quality sports management education in India. So what people do is they get the first flight into the UK or Australia or Spain, and they study over there and they spend a bunch of money. Now, that's not a bad thing, but then you got to ask yourself a simple question is what happens after my education? Because of the situation there, it's impossible to get a job over there, and no one's going to hire you just based on a degree. And I think that's what we're doing at GISB is so special is that we're able to bridge the gap between the East and the West. So our students essentially get to learn global best practices from our partners like the Premier League and the University of Massachusetts Amherst as well. So this industry design program, what it enables you to do is learn from global sports industry leaders as well. So you're learning what's going on in the West, you're learning what's going on in the East, and then you're able to combine that. And then you create a meaningful career for yourself within the sports industry. So I think it's extremely important to get educated on sport, but get educated in the right manner. So anyone who's looking to break into the sports industry now, I think it's extremely important to get a formal education because sport is no more just about consumption of sport and playing sport. Now it is a business. So I think getting an education is the right step ahead.
Okay, great. So over the years, you can see that cricket is very popular and it gets most of the viewership in India. So how do other sports compete?
I don't think other sports compete, Sean. Cricket is a beast of its own. Now, something that we need to acknowledge is India is not a country. India is a continent. We have 1.3 billion people, right? In Mumbai, we have 24 million people. That's the population of Australia, right? So just having cricket there, it's okay. Other sports can make an impact too. Like I share with you a very interesting stat is Pro Kabaddi reached 1.1 billion impressions for the year of 2018. So I don't think it's about competing and cricket's on top or football's on top. What we need to do is just help sports grow in India. The ecosystem is at a very, very nascent stage. And India has the most amounts of sports leagues in the world right now. We would never have thought the ISL came up, but it did. We see Pro Kabaddi, we see volleyball, we've seen tennis, we've seen table tennis, we've seen badminton. So Indian sports is growing at a phenomenally rapid rate. And I think it's our duty now to support those sports as well. So I don't think it's about competing. I think it's just about supporting each sport, and the pie is big enough for everyone. Like I shared with you earlier, 24 million people is the population close to of Australia. So I think there is enough for everyone.
So how can sports fans in India build a social media or a blogging site to support sports?
So what I would say to anyone who now wants to get into the sports industry and use social media as a platform to really build and escalate their brand is find what you're really passionate about, right? So if you're really passionate about the business of football, then start posting articles about that. Create content around that. Because even when you're looking for a job in the sports industry, it's very important to be unique. There are qualities that employers will look at, even outside of your ability in the sports management sphere. So I think just create content about things that you're really passionate about and use your platforms in the right way. Write articles, connect with people, interview people. There's so many great podcasts going around. There is Sky Talks by Mr. Arup Sons, who is a GISB faculty member as well, who is the head of marketing for the FIFA Under 17 World Cup in 2017 that happened in India. A few of our GISB students as well are doing great stuff on their social media pages. There's a podcast by a student called Cool Down with Abe, where he's interviewing various leaders in the global sports industry and they're sharing their experiences. Another one is Adarsh Singh, who's doing Unche Vichar, where he's interviewed many, many players and other sports industry members speaking about their experiences. So I think it's about really joining the dots on what you're passionate about and then building that brand for yourself. So, and especially with COVID-19 right now, when everything is on digital, I don't think there could be a better time right now to build your brand and subconsciously make people think of you. So if I'm in the football business, I would post an article every day or create some content every day so that someone who's sitting in a Premier League office or someone who's sitting at a club says, hey man, this guy's name keeps popping up on my LinkedIn. Maybe I should contact him on what market entry strategies we should use to enter the Indian market. So there just couldn't be a better time than right now.
Great. So, what skills do you think an individual needs to succeed in the sports industry?
Right. So I think what people need to realize is the sports industry now is only people, right? So I think strong written and verbal communication skills are very, very important. If you can't form meaningful relationships within the sports industry, you won't go very far. I think another very important skill is what's your why, is actually the ability to go inside and find out why you're doing what you're doing. Are you passionate enough to do what you're doing? And I think have a very, very clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to do. And just be hardworking. The sports industry is not like any other industry. It's a lot of fun and it's a lot of adrenaline, but you also need to ensure that you are hardworking. Working in sport is very different from viewing sport. So it is hard work. It is long hours. In the sports industry, you end up working on weekends. So you work the whole week, and then the event is on the weekend, and then you get back again. So you have to be prepared to work hard. You have to have strong communication skills. And I think be very, very clear on what your vision is for your future as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Sean. Take care. Bye-bye.